yourself up and keep on moving on to meet your goal. Come on, everybody. Come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubles weigh me down. I tell you, come on, everybody. Come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubles weigh. Good evening, good evening. Wow. Hey, everybody. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is Success at Suppertime. Thank you so much for joining us on Instagram. Hey, Chris from Australia, thanks for joining us on YouTube. So thank you so much for joining us. This is Success at Suppertime, and we continue our training, our thoughts based on our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And yesterday we talked about refocusing your life. That so many of us are at a point in our lives right now where we need to refocus. We talked a bit about the fact that how do you know it's time to refocus? You're just not happy. You're not fulfilled. You feel there's something more, that there's something that you're missing. There's something that's not happening. So the first key to refocusing your life we dealt with last night, and it was to do a reality check. If you're lost, if you're not where you think you ought to be, then you need to be clear on where you are and where you are in all regards, where you are in your thinking. Maybe you're thinking negative thoughts. Maybe the situation you're experiencing right now is a result of negative thoughts. Your emotions. Perhaps you don't feel worthy of the success you've been seeking. Your habits. It's possible that you have habits, negative habits, counterproductive habits that are undermining your success. And then your relationships. So often we can be surrounded by people who are not on one accord with our success. Sometimes it's your family, sometimes it's people close to you. But the bottom line is that whatever's going on right now in your life, the reality check says, I don't like it. I'm going to draw a line in the sand, and there's got to be something different. There's got to be something better. So that's the first step, to do that reality check. The second step to refocusing your life is to really take responsibility. The interesting thing about life is you're in charge. Now, we live on the river of time. We're a boat on the river of time. And when we take charge of our lives, it's when we crank up our engine, our desire, when we set our sails, our attitude, we get our crew working on one accord, the people who are rowing the boat. And when we have our rudder, our value system properly oriented so that the boat goes in the direction that we want to go. The beautiful thing about this is that you have the power. You can take responsibility. And even more importantly, only you. When your life is not going the way you want it to go, nobody else can really change that. Even if someone came with a solution, but you weren't yet ready to hear it. Sometimes people come and they say, look, I see what's happening in your life. The interesting thing is they don't generally offer, say, may I make a suggestion? But they may or may not. But sometimes people will come and make a suggestion. If you are not ready to receive that suggestion, it's like water off a duck's back. Anytime you bring something to a person that they're not seeking, that they don't want to hear, they may not even know that they need to do A, B, C, and D to get where they want to go. And so if they're not seeking answers, then when somebody brings it to you, it's not going to work. So the key is, if you want to refocus your life right now, you must take responsibility. And for those who are listening, I think we should make a statement, an affirmation. I take responsibility for my life. I take responsibility for my life. If you'd like to write that in the chat, write it down so that the world can know I take responsibility for my life. So in this refocusing process, how do you take responsibility? What are some of the key things that can help you take responsibility and make it happen? Number one, to realize
that you have control over your attitude, over your thoughts, over your emotion, over your habits, over your relationships. And most of all, you have control over your response to whatever the external circumstances that are going on in your life right now. So if you're not happy with where you are, if you're not happy with what you're doing, if you're not happy with the experience of life that you're having, then you take responsibility. And the first key is to realize that you have control over your attitude, over your thoughts, over your habits, over your associations, and most of all, over your response to your situation, over your response to whatever is going on in your life right now. So that's number one. Okay. Number two, to realize that you have a great power. You know, when we talk about Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden, the reason that God told Adam, don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Okay, that's a value system. That's a value judgment. And so as human beings, we have choices. And so whatever your situation is right now, whatever your circumstances, to realize that you have choices to change whatever the situation is. As the dog sits on the nail until it becomes so painful that it gets off that nail. Many times in our lives, we are so stuck on the circumstances that we're on and the pain that we're experiencing that we don't take the time and the responsibility to refocus and get off that pain. So recognize that you have the power to make choices, and choices will make the difference. We are where we are because of the choices we make in our lives. So when you take responsibility to refocus, you have the power to make choices to help the process. Third key, you have to be proactive. You see, if you want to change, you're on the river of time. You have to steer your rudder. You have to have the deep desire. You have to have your crew working on one accord. You have to set your sails so that the same wind that blows another ship over pushes you closer to your goals. You see, when you're proactive, if you don't make choices, proper choices, then your circumstances will define you. Think about the prodigal son. When the prodigal son was in the pig pens of life, waiting for whatever the pigs didn't want to eat to satisfy his hunger, he said, I have got to make a change. I have to go and see my father. I can do better than this. In my father's house, his servants have food enough and more. If he did not proactively get up and take action, we wouldn't even be hearing the story of the prodigal son. So you have to take action. If you don't, not only will your circumstances define you, but you can become fearful and paralyzed because you don't make proper choices. Number 4. To refocus your life, be thoughtful. And when I say be thoughtful, to use your God-given common sense. Use the experiential history that you have learned over your lifetime. Trust me, if you're at a particular point in your life right now, even if it's seems terrible and whatever's going on is not pleasant, the fact is that you're still there. That the Creator gave you the ability to still be alive. There are a lot of people who were here yesterday and not here today. And so the fact that you're here facing this challenge says that you're worthy of going forward. So be thoughtful. Use your common sense. Look back at your past where you've been in situations before and how you got through it. how you made decisions, how you met people, how you worked a little harder, how you threw another punch, whatever you had to do to get through it. Look back on those things and say, hey, if I could get out of this, I can deal with this. If I can walk on 16 feet of hot coals, for those of you who attended Tony Robbins' workshop, if I can walk on 16 feet of hot coal, I can handle this. If I can survive the things that you've survived in your life, then what's confronting you right now, you can deal with. So many times in our present situation, we forget the greatness that we really have already accomplished, that we have inside. So tonight, we've covered a second point, a part 2, on refocusing your life. That after you make that reality check to figure out where you are, your strengths and your assets, then the second is to take responsibility for the changes you need to transform your life from what it is to what you want it to be. And this process has 4 keys. 1, realize that you have control over your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, your associations, and over your response to the situation. Number 2, that you have the power to make choices. This is profound. You have the power to make choices, to make decisions. Number 3, that even though you have this power, you must use it. You must be proactive. If you are not proactive in making proper choices to change your life, the world will take you where it wants you to go. And then finally, number 4, to be thoughtful, to use your common sense, to trust your intuition, to do the things that you must do now to get where you have to go. You know, the law of supply says you already have everything you need to get everything you want. Once you recognize that you already have the tools, just as David, who faced Goliath, when the giant appeared to enslave his people, David didn't run out to get a quick course in giant fighting. He looked around for stones, and stones are metaphysical understanding of truth, the things you believe in. So when you are going through this period of refocusing your life, look at the things that have worked in the past. Use your common sense, your experiential knowledge. Use the knowledge of others. It's a good idea to get advice when we talk about being thoughtful, to set aside your ego and ask for some help from someone who's been there, who's faced the challenges like you're facing, and who overcame them victoriously. Wow, folks, another night. This is the key thoughts, the key ideas of refocusing your life. So thank you so much for being with us. Remember, you can be what you want to be, you can do what you want to do, and you can have whatever you want to have, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And those of you who are serious about transforming your lives, get our home study course, because it will help you assess your situation. It will help you make the changes necessary. It will help you set new goals and make a plan for achieving them. Go to our website, www.herbertharris.com. Click on the Home Study Courses tab and get your new you for the new year home study course. Our book is the resource book for that course. When you can do this, when you can have a tool to help you, to help guide you, nothing is impossible. So once again, Dr. Herbert Harris saying you can be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have whatever you want to have, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is. Let's sing it on out. Here we go. I often sit and wonder how things could be this way. I guess we'd better tell them this is a brand new day. Don't leave it up to the other man or to another day. Take your life into your hands. Make it work out your way. It's not the number of times you stumble down and fall upon the ground. It's the number of times you pick yourself up and keep on moving on to meet your goal. All right, folks, let's get it done. Refocus your life to become the person you want to be, doing the things you want to do and wherever you want to do them and with whom you desire to do them. Dr. Herbert Harris saying, see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on Thursday night for Success at Suppertime. So it is.